Hello, hello, hello. You are tuning into another episode of The Wunderkind Show. Today's topic, Eric Bieniemy only has 2 destinations he's looking at. Listen, bro. Listen to me. This would change the NFL landscape if 3 things happen. 3. They're not even that hard. You re-sign Lamar Jackson, which then having him on the team makes Eric Bieniemy want to work with him. So then you get Eric Bieniemy as the OC, right? Because Washington, who was the other team, the only other team that is between us and Washington, right, doesn't have a quarterback. They have weapons. They just don't have the man to pull the trigger. They have guns, but they don't got the gunslinger. And number 3, a guy on the outside that commands and forces teams to use safety coverage on his side of the field. If those 3 things, let me fix myself real quick. Look at me. If those 3 things happen this offseason, this is what you will hear blaring from the NFL corporation head offices. Do you know why? Because destruction will come on swift winds. There will be no answer for Baltimore. Eric Bieniemy, right now, and this is so crazy because I'm torn, right? And look, you guys can see I have some African descent in my blood. I want this man to get a head coaching job. I feel he deserves one. He does. He's the only coach that is under Andy Reid, who has ever been under Andy Reid, that has got no adulation or no recognition for the wins that the team has acquired. John Harbaugh, Spagnuolo, all these other coaches, Nagy, they get all the accolades for being on the team, being part of a winning culture. And these teams have went out of their way to make them head coaches one time or another. He's the only one that seems to get no opportunity to do so. But because of the ignorance of those teams, Baltimore has a chance to sign probably the best OC we've had since Gary Kubiak. So I'm torn because deep down, like, yo, man, I want this man to get a head coaching job. But the Baltimore side of me, the fan is like, yes, thank you. And it's sickening to say that, but it's true. See, I'll always deal with truth on this platform, as uncomfortable as it might be. And the one thing that this guy does is offense. The Chiefs' offense has been number 1 in offensive production 2 out of the last 5 years. They've been 3rd once. The lowest they've ever dropped, I believe, is 5th. Yo! Bro, his creative mind, not just in the pass game, but the run game with a quarterback at the talent level, the production level of a Lamar Jackson, that's fire. He would enter here like an evil genius, laughing at the opposition because there would be nothing that they could do. He would literally, every game, look at them and be like, That's what it would be like. Because it would be unfair. It would be something that would be historical. And here's my thing. The only person, matter of fact, the only two people that can mess this up, that can throw a wrench in these plans, is John Harbaugh and Steve Bisciotti. Because here's the thing. Here's the nightmare on Elm Street that we refuse to walk down. If Lamar Jackson's not here, Bieniemy's not coming here. He's not. Everything that we want for the future hinges on the Lamar Jackson decision. That's why it's such a crazy topic. Because if we talk about OC, the OC that we want is not coming here if Lamar's not coming here. The wide receivers that we want are not coming here if Lamar Jackson is not here. The games that will hopefully be on prime time will not be ours if Lamar Jackson is not here. That's fact. Listen, that's not conjecture. That's fact. So then we have to think or start asking ourselves, it's imperative. It's of the utmost importance that this deal gets done. Because everything else falls by the wayside until this man gets signed. Could you imagine Eric Bieniemy, who has been our enemy, now transformed into our frenemy? What are y'all trying to be telling me? Seriously. I mean, the light switch in your head has to go off. Like, please. Like, look. Forget Patrick Mahomes and him for just 1 second. Let's put it into focus, right? This team had the best deep threat on the squad since Randy Moss. And they had the best tight end since Gronk. Prime Gronk in New England on the squad. They lose that deep threat. Everybody writes them off. Do you know what they do? Do you know what he starts calling? They start calling plays called Ring Around the Rosie. Pocket full of Posey. Y'all seen the play? And on that play that you would say, oh, that's not going to work. It's disrespectful too. They scored. The level of creativity that he brings, not just to an offense, but to individual pieces within the offense, is unprecedented. Every weapon's attributes that make them a high-level NFL player is accentuated by his play calling. By what he calls, what he draws up. Every single one of them. Somebody told me, listen, I was laughing, right? Because Tony on the team, y'all know what I'm talking about. And everybody said, bro, he's not good. They've multiple people have said that his strong suit is not learning the playbook. So every time he's out there, he's out there just to get the ball. He's going to get the ball. And even if that's so and that was true, right? That means the defense would know that that's a tell. If he's out there, he's going to get the ball. They can't stop it. Because Kansas City's they're just so creative with how they put things together that people run wide. Think about this real quick. Travis Kelce, as a tight end, has multiple seasons challenging the best wide receivers in yards, catches, and touchdowns. Everybody knows the ball is going to him or around him or somewhere in the vicinity of him. And they have yet to come up with anything that can stop it. You tell me if that's not a sign of an amazing coordinator. Now, some people might say, oh, he just gets open. Have y'all seen? Listen, it's one thing to get open because he does that because there's no tight end I've watched in the last 20 years that gets wide open like Travis Kelce, right? Gronk would just push people off. He was like a Frankenstein. That's how you were. You know what I'm saying? He was bigger than everybody. But Kelce runs wide open. Even when you know the man had what, 115 receptions this year? Let me make sure. I don't want to lie. I always like to be on top of my game, right? Let's go look at this real quick, right? Hold on. Right? Let's see if I can find it real quick. Yeah. So he had 152 targets, 110 receptions for 1,338 yards, 12.2 yards average, 78.7 yards per game with 12 touchdowns. And you would think, well, what is he doing in the playoffs? Maybe, no. Check this out. He's averaging 88 yards per game in the playoffs. His receptions went through the roof in the playoffs. He's averaging 10.5 receptions right now in the playoffs. They know he's getting the ball. They can't stop it. That's a sign of an absolutely glaring talent and an absolutely glaring offensive coordinator. Because it's not like we're going to line you up and just say, go at the guy and try to get open. They give you the best opportunity to use your skills to help the team's success. So sometimes he's running out from the fullback position, split out wide. Sometimes he's in slot. Sometimes he's in the halfback position. Sometimes he's under center. The only weapon I see be used around the formation like him is Justin Jefferson. That's the creativity that Baltimore has been missing. And the last most critical part that I will say has been missing in Baltimore is he'll actually play the best players at the most opportune moments. You listen, let me tell y'all something right now. You know one of the biggest problems that's been plaguing the Ravens? They're not playing the talent. They're holding the talent back. Likely should have had more snaps. Bateman should have been on the field more, right? Our running backs, J.K. Dobbins, should have been on the field more. That won't be a problem under Eric Bieniemy. He will be trying to coax, milk, excrete every ounce, every iota of offensive output from every single piece on the offense. And that, mixed with the dynamic one-for-one nature of a Lamar Jackson, would wreak havoc on the league. Havoc! People would be scared. Looking up like, look in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's the Baltimore Ravens. This is great news that he has settled down to two destinations, us and Washington. And we have the driver's seat in that. I haven't talked to the man, but it's common sense because we have the gunslinger. But if we don't retain that gunslinger, it's not going to be the prettiest thing for us. So, Baltimore, what do we need? Eric Bieniemy. What else do we need? Big-time wide receiver on the outside to take safety coverage over the top, right? And what do we need? To pay Lamar Jackson, because those other things I just named don't mean squat if he is not retained. And all of what I just said, not an ounce, not even a millimeter of it is conjecture. It's all been facts. And that was another episode of The Wunderkind Show. Hey, y'all, listen, man. I love you guys. You guys have been watching the content, retweeting the content, hitting me up in the comments. You like how that all rhymes? Bars. Hey, Don DeMarco. Listen, man, for everybody new watching, please do remember, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. Also, just be respectful to other people's different views. That's the only thing I ask. And if you would like to help the platform monetarily, at the bottom of the screen is a QR code. And in the description, it takes you to a Cash App. And the Cash App is $TheWunderkindShow. So, this is The Wunderkind Show. This is your host, Nitro, signing off. And as always, you guys knows my slogan. Peace. And I am out of here. Yeah!